Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting edition of Caramel Corn Podcast. My name is Chris, along with my hetero life mate, Mister.
Still scratching my head, Russ.
And can you guess what we're going to review today? I think you can. Today we are reviewing The Batman. Coming up next on Comic Cave Podcast. And we're back here in the Comic Cave. Russell, we are here to review The Batman.
And if you haven't seen it yet, what are you waiting for? Like, definitely, like, it's been out for a few weeks now. It's about to come out on HBO Max in like 2 weeks from when we're recording this. This is definitely going to be spoiler-filled review. So if you haven't seen it yet and you care about spoilers, which if you care about spoilers and you haven't seen it yet, there's something wrong there. But definitely click off this video, go give it a watch, and then come back because we're about to get right into it.
And let's get right into it. To hell with this movie. No. But this is, Russell, so let's start it off with you because you seem to be the most hyped about this film, and I'm like,
You're not, don't lie.
I'm in limbo. I saw it twice.
Yes, and I wanted to see it twice. I haven't seen it a second time yet.
He doesn't care.
It's not that, man. I've been busy. But anyways, I absolutely did love the film. It's not a perfect 10. We'll get into our ratings, I guess, towards the end of this. I won't say what it really is. But this is, and not to like build up on the hype train, not to like follow anybody else's coattails or anything. This is the most accurate live action Batman I feel we have had so far. I absolutely loved how the film started off, and it caught my attention. This is one of the first films, more so than like Spider-Man No Way Home for me, which I understand you and Torrin have y'all's issues. Go back and watch that review to see how I feel and see how they feel. But this was like the first film that I had fun with in a really long time. I was smiling the whole way through the film. From the moment that we came in and we had that, not monologue, but his voiceover as Batman.
The Rorschach monologue?
Not just... Well, yeah, okay, kind of, you can... But, like, that's comic accurate. Like, Batman kind of narrating his own story, so to speak. I absolutely love that. I don't want to... do we just go, like, all the way through everything?
Go for it.
I freaking love. I love that. I loved all of the deep cuts that this film had, and I feel like this film had more deep cuts in it than any other film that we possibly had. I love that they had a very high attention to this being a year 2 Batman, and he had faults, and this gives you a Batman that still has room to grow. This is great storytelling. This is great character development. And if any of y'all know, I'm huge on world building and character development. Those are my biggest 2 things, as is for a lot of people when it comes to comics, movies, anime, manga, whatever. Those are the 2 biggest things I look at. And this character has room to grow. He was not a perfect Batman. I absolutely love that this was Batman had way more of a detective feel to it than any other rendition that we've ever had.
I'll give you that.
Way more detective. It seems like every single Batman film that comes out tends to focus on like a characteristic of a Batman, and this doesn't make it like worse per se or a thing against any other previous live action Batman film, but they all tend to like focus on something a little bit more than some of the others, whether that be how he fights, whether that be like some stealth aspect,
the parents,
or anything like this, the parents, whatever aspect, the psyche of Batman, whatever the aspect shall be. This film seemed to have encompassed all of it for me. I will say when we get into like some gripes of it, there is something.
Well, go by each character. What did you think of Batman, Riddler, Catwoman, Penguin?
Okay. Well, then there's also a gripe within that. But Batman himself, why is Robert Pattinson as Batman and as Bruce Wayne? I think that he did a really good job. I think that the Bruce Wayne persona is not there yet, but I think that that's on purpose. I think that, I mean, not even I think, he hasn't developed that Bruce Wayne persona yet. He just wants to be Batman all the time, and that's very in line with early year 1, year 2 fucking comics. Very in line with, like, I feel like Hush and some of the others. Well, Hush, Bruce Wayne was still very much a Bruce Wayne within that, but he still needs to develop that character. So again, room to grow. I absolutely love that. I loved that this did dives into the psyche of it a little bit more, of that persona of Bruce Wayne. Like, no, I don't want to be this. This is all I want to focus on. Jim Gordon. I was a little bit worried about... Why is Milan going blank on his name right now? Can you help me out? Do you know his name?
His real life name?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Well, dude from Westworld and all that other stuff. I was a little bit worried about him playing Jim Gordon originally, because from what I had seen in Westworld and any other character that he's been in, I've only seen him in, I think, Westworld and like one other thing. But regardless, what I've seen him in, he's a very somber character. And Jim Gordon is... if anybody's reading the current Joker comic that I think actually just wrapped up, I haven't read the last issue yet myself, but it's a heavy focus on Jim Gordon. Like, that's a perfect portrayal of Jim Gordon. He is a cop that's just...
It's not the Harley Quinn show with Jim Gordon?
No, well, kind of, honestly, that has some truth to it, too. He's so absorbed by his job. He's so absorbed by wanting to be a good detective and a good person.
Well, no, Harley Quinn is like,
he's beat up by it at that point.
Yeah.
But that's the future Gordon. This Gordon is leading to that.
He's like so insecure and everything.
This Gordon is leading to that, I feel.
That's funny.
No, legitimately, because like Gordon, if y'all know, like he within the comics, I mean, there's different renditions of it, but generally speaking, within the comics, he lost his relationship with his wife. He was just so focused on the job at hand. I think that intensity that the character needs, I do think that he brought it to the table when it needed to be there. I genuinely thought that he did a really good job as it. Selena Kyle, less of an opinion on her, to be perfectly honest. I think that she was pretty good, not absolutely stellar by any means, but I think that, yeah, she did a good job. She was sexy, she was still alluring, she was still... it was a Selena Kyle. I don't really have too much to say on that character. Falcone, on point. I thought that he did a fantastic portrayal of the Falcone. Penguin. You didn't like the... Oh, man.
No, I'm not. When I did that,
Okay.
Stole the fucking show.
Okay, good. I thought that, yeah, you didn't even realize it was Colin Farrell.
Nope.
And everybody was saying that leading up to the film. But yeah, no, absolutely. He did a stupendous job. And again, character development. I can't wait to see what they do with that character and him actually taking over now that there's been a vacuum within Gotham, now that Batman and Riddler has left that space open for somebody to come in and swoop in and take up. I can't wait to see where that leads. I think that he's going to become that ruthless Penguin that we know, that we absolutely love from the comics. I guess lastly that I'll touch on for now will be Riddler. Riddler is my only issue. And I know a lot of people like the Riddler. I do think that... Okay, let me say what my issue is. And again, I do have a few gripes. This is just one of them. That's not the Riddler. That's the Riddler is not a psychotic, insane serial killer. That's not who he is in the comics. There's nothing in his origins that are like that. The Riddler's biggest motivation is wanting to know who the Batman is. Like, that's pretty much it. And I get there's not a lot to go off of that. So I will say, in the Riddler's defense, I don't think that this film would have worked without him being a serial killer. It wouldn't have been able to give the same plot. It wouldn't have been able to drive the narrative as well. But that's not my Riddler. I don't see him as like a psychotic. Like, if you pit the Riddler against the Joker, the Riddler thinks that... I mean, so do all villains. They think the Joker's insane. But this Riddler was damn near Joker levels of insanity within this. And I get it. Like, again, it was meant to drive the narrative. It was meant to drive the story. I don't think that this story would have worked had it not been an insane Riddler like that. Like, the riddles and the dynamic between... And that was another thing that kind of irked me, but again, it works for this film. This is why I'm a little bit torn on it. The Riddler was very much playing that same Joker persona of "you complete me," that we are a team in this, and that I gave you the clues, and you made the next step happen. Right? That's a very Joker persona, very Joker characteristic. So something that you've said outside of this, that like, if this is the Riddler, the Joker's got to be like amped the fuck up. And I agree to that. I agree to that statement. This was a much more over the top Riddler in my opinion. That's like, yeah, as far as characters go, that's my biggest gripe. All right, so hit me with yours.
So unlike my hetero colleague here, I'm I'm gonna get right into it, okay? So I thought that this film had badass moments, and I thought this film had we didn't need that moments, or we could have done without that moments. Now, character-wise, Batman, I thought Robert Pattinson was a great Batman. Shitty Bruce Wayne, but once again, as you said earlier,
I think that's on purpose.
he's still learning. Right. Now, once again, spoilers if you haven't seen this film. I feel, and I saw this movie twice, first time with them, and the second time with another friend of mine. I feel like at the end, whenever he was saving Gotham from the wreckage of what Riddler did, I feel like he should have took off the cape and cowl and came out as Bruce Wayne. And I feel like that would have made the Waynes like... Because people didn't know Bruce Wayne. It was like, oh, it's Bruce Wayne. Even that cop was like, hey, like we haven't fucking seen this guy in a long time. I feel like he should have taken off the cape and cowl and listened to what Alfred said, and like this means something. But then what would
you have done from there? That doesn't drive the narrative at all.
But the Batman, okay, so I get what the Riddler was saying, where he's like, the Batman is the real you, the Bruce Wayne is the mask.
And that's on point.
Right, but once again, Bruce Wayne has to stand for something. It's Bruce Wayne. He is the child, the prince of Gotham City. And that's just my opinion. Like,
I get you, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to chime in on your time here, but again, I really do think that that's on purpose. He doesn't want to be Bruce Wayne. He does not care about that.
But then he should have. Whenever Alfred died, he should have been like
Alfred didn't die.
Well, not didn't die. Well,
I get what you mean. Alfred got hurt incredibly.
He should have been like, yes, the Wayne is a strong.
But that same night is when the climax of everything came together. You got to give him fucking time, not one fucking day for him to come out.
But the movie was 3 hours, and let me tell you, that 3 hours, I felt that shit. Endgame was 3 hours. I didn't really feel Endgame.
I disagree with that wholeheartedly.
I felt Endgame. I felt Batman.
I felt Endgame. Endgame was boring as shit to me at parts.
Also, he doesn't like the Marvels. But no, yeah, dude. I felt that 3 hours. Now, when I said that what we could have did without was the white girl that died, the Russian chick.
Oh yeah.
Like that was a pointless thing.
No, it wasn't. That's what drove Catwoman to go after Falcone.
They should have they should have just adopted what they had in the comics, and yes, she's Falcone's daughter, so we could have been like Falcone, she's mad and trying to get revenge at Falcone because she killed her mom.
But that's also what put Bruce onto the trail of Falcone and everything that happened. That was a driving plot.
I just feel like it didn't really.
No, that was I disagree with you. That was a driving point. I understand. I don't want to just steal this conversation.
But
I don't want to steal the conversation. But
I think that the characters, the casting was great. I have no problem with the casting. Everybody was on point, as he said. Falcone did great, and with John Turturro, who would have thought Roland T. Flackpfizer would have been a great mobster? Shout out to the comments, you know who that is, Roland T. Flackpfizer. But I thought the Penguin was flawless. Catwoman was great. The Riddler, I like this Riddler. I didn't like the Gimp Riddler, but whenever he was in Arkham and he was like insane, it reminded me of the Arkham games Riddler. Like that was great. I want more of that Riddler. Batman was great. I thought the casting was on point. Now that we got that over with, we're gonna get into the plot. Russell, we've already seen this Batman. It's called the Nolan trilogy. You know, the one thing that's great about Batman is that he's a comic book character. He has gadgets. He's Batman. He's a comic character.
Bro, have you...
But hold on. They've grounded Batman in the Nolan trilogy, and I feel like this Batman is more grounded, which makes him boring.
I completely disagree.
The second time I saw that film,
have you read Year One Batman?
I have Year One Batman.
Okay, I know. That's my point.
But yes,
he's still learning. Why are you expecting him in Year Two? Why are you expecting him to already be like Year 20 fucking something?
No, I'm not expecting that.
Yeah, you are.
Well, hold on.
That's what it's coming off as.
That's another reason why I was like, I want an established Batman. Like I'm done.
He is more established, but
I want Nightfall Batman.
Dude, okay, take this as our argument for Invincible against our homeboy Chris, right? Our Walker. You guys don't probably know this conversation.
Character development.
We already know
Batman's character development.
But that's not a good fucking story to just dive right into. He's already at the pinnacle. What room for growth is there? What's the damn point at that point?
We got that with the Nolan trilogies, though.
It's a different story.
It is, but we know how his parents died. We know how Batman started up. Like, I want to see these Jokers. I want to see these characters established. Like, I want Arkham to be
that's
Arkham.
Boring. That's boring.
How could you say that? The Arkham
Because
games
I
are
want
great.
to see them be able to develop into that. And a video game is not the same medium
But
as
it's a
a
great
movie.
video game.
It's not the same
Give me
thing.
Spider-Man. But
Because within a video game, your development isn't necessarily on the character development. It's on I have to level up. That's your development. That's entirely different.
You're leveling up the character.
That's entirely different from a film. Within a film and within a story, you have to see character development. I want to see a Batman. You're right. I don't want to see the origin of the parents dying and all stuff and anything like that. But I want to be able to see Batman still make faults and mistakes because he is still human, and I want to see him be able to have something to develop.
I got no gripe with that.
This leaves plenty of room for him to develop. There's, and I don't want to say an infinite number, there's so many instances within this film where he messed up both as Bruce Wayne, heavily as Bruce Wayne, and even as Batman when he jumped off the building and he was flying.
We didn't really get to see him as Bruce Wayne.
That's the issue. That's the problem. Bruce Wayne.
So you're saying we didn't have enough Bruce Wayne?
He needs to develop that persona as Bruce Wayne. If he's not willing to be Bruce Wayne, then that leaves too much of a Bruce Wayne's not around now. This Bat character is around. Ideal, right?
Now this takes us back. This conversation we're having takes me back to the fucking conversation that we had over 7 years ago whenever we first saw The Force Awakens, and this guy over here was like, character development, we need to see them grow. Did they grow? Did we see that development? So what the hell is the difference between this? Well, that's Star Wars.
Is Matt Reeves not going to be the same director over all of them?
Is he? Like, there hasn't been any. I don't know. Well, the only thing that we're getting from this Batman show or movie is the Penguin has a spin-off series on HBO Max, and I think a Batgirl. I don't know if it's in the same universe or not.
No, not Batgirl. Batgirl is the CW stuff.
No, it's the Bat. Oh, is it CW?
That's CW.
Well, no, because her dad is the Jim Gordon from the movie. That's been confirmed.
Oh, I didn't know about that. I thought that Jim Gordon was getting his own show too.
That too. We're getting a GCPD.
Well, not necessarily Jim Gordon, but GCPD is.
We're getting Gotham on HBO Max, essentially.
Yeah. But yeah, no. I see your concern, but I don't think that that's necessarily a point against this film because they are giving it room to be able to grow. And from what I have seen so far, it's a lot more promising than the Star Wars.
I want Batman to be fun again.
This was entertaining to me. I was literally smiling through the entire film.
The parts that I like I said, I don't hate this movie. I'm not shitting on it. It sounds like I am, but there are parts
That's
where I
because
thought
we're on opposite ends a little bit.
There are scenes in this movie that I thought were like, holy shit! Like, yes, especially the scene in the beginning, whenever they were looking in the shadows, like, oh shit, he's there. Whenever they looked at the sky, I was like,
I love that.
Yes, yeah. This is what I wanted. And the Batman, when I saw it the second time, I kind of changed my mind because going into this movie, I'm a big fucking fan of Batman beating the shit out of the villains and beating the shit out of the little small town crooks. But then as we saw in this movie, they used that against him, and he was like, "Oh shit!" Like maybe I should stop doing that because it's giving these guys a wrong feeling.
Yeah, and I both like and dislike. So something again that I see improvement for Batman is yes, we got to see him lurk in the shadows some, and we got to see him hang up like in the rafters a little bit for a second. Yeah. But a lot of his combat was he just walked through the front doors. Yeah. Literally walked through the front doors.
That's for a dude that's supposed to be stealthy and ninja-like.
Right.
He just straight up, you know who I am.
But I think, again, I think that leaves room for character development. I think that leaves room. I don't want to say I think. I hope that in the future, I hope that they don't Star Wars this crap. I really do. I really hope that they give him more development on that front and that we start to see more of the stealth side. That was the one side of Batman that I felt was lacking. He wasn't so much of a ninja in this as I'm going to take the shots straight to me. And a lot of that was unbelievable. That was another kind of gripe for me. The dude got blown up by a bomb in the face.
Yeah.
He jumped off of a skyscraper, caught an overpass, slammed up against top of that. No real injuries, no death on any of that stuff.
He got shot point blank with a fucking 12 gauge.
With a 12 gauge, and I mean, I do think that was venom that he shot into himself. Like
ever since you said that, everyone.
Bro, yeah, no, I was like, I said that in the theaters when he shot himself and he got angry. I was like, is that fucking venom? I was so hyped for that.
Now, once again,
so it's just,
I'm not shitting on this film.
Those are areas. Those are the room for growth. That's all.
And that's great that he loves character development. But I myself, we've read the comics, we've heard the comics be read to us. I just want Batman to fucking... No, I'm not saying Batman and Robin Batman. I don't want that. But I do like the campiness. It's fun.
But two things on that point. One, on a personal standpoint, I think that's boring. If you already have a perfect Batman, that's at the end of a trilogy. Like, I would like to see that Batman, but not now. I want to see him grow into that.
Well, no, we got the best of both worlds.
But then, two, you got to understand, bro, that this film isn't also just directed towards you and the Batman fan that knows and reads these comics. Let's be real. American comic sales specifically are down right now like a motherfucker. So this is for those kids that aren't actually reading
Batman has always been up.
But overall, the top selling comics right now are manga. It's not American comics. It's not Batman.
I believe you, Adam.
So my point is, these kids these days, yes, there are a few that are probably reading Batman stuff, but most of them are reading like manga. They're not familiar with the character the way that you and I are. This is not just This is not just... They're not going to. They're reading manga, bro. You got to get that through your head.
I mean, but if you... everyone knows Batman, though. Like,
everybody knows who the character is, but that doesn't mean that they're familiar with the character like that. Everybody knows who Superman is, but they're not familiar with the character like that. You know who Goku is. Who is Goku?
Goku, Dragon Ball Z.
Tell me something about his character.
He's extremely OP.
Okay, my point is, you can't really go into the characteristics of this character. You don't know his psyche. You haven't read that character like that. So this isn't directed towards you on the sense of knowing Batman. This is for a general public who wants to watch a film, enjoy a film, and be able to get that character development. They want to see the development of film of this character.
I don't think people give a shit
and I
about
understand that
Batman.
people a lot of people read the Nolan verse or watched the Nolan verse, but you got to also understand that was 10 years ago at this point.
Right.
There's people that there's kids that haven't really even seen that. They've now grown up on the Marvel universe and all that, and they've gotten into those characters. This is a time for DC to come up.
So don't you think it would be prudent for them to liven it up? Because I understand Marvel.
It's got to be different than Marvel.
I get that. I get it has to be different, but I want to see some funny Batman. I mean, like when Penguin was waddling away, I thought that was pretty hilarious.
All right, so not to go back on an old conversation, but what did you think of the Joker film?
I didn't like it because it was grounded.
That's not what you said. I want to bring up our review on that to show exactly what the hell you said. You enjoyed that film.
Oh, the Joker film.
Yes.
I did?
Yes. That's what you said in our review.
I mean, I've seen it a few times since then. I don't know, dude. I don't like my shit to be grounded, honestly.
My point is that this is more along those Joker film lines.
Right, and so was the Nolan film.
Nah, Joker took that to another level of that groundedness. I will give you that. I will give all of us that.
Like I said, I'm not a big fan, and you can be too, and other people out there can be fans of this grounded universe. And like I said, they grounded him.
But it's not just grounded. They showed
really is.
Venom. How is that grounded?
We don't know for sure that's Venom or not.
Come on.
Yeah, he has his theories.
Come on.
But unless they said fucking Venom, then I get it. Now you're being one of those internet people that are like, no, it is. We don't know for sure.
Okay, I'll concede to that. But the dude got blown up in the face. He still got shot by a shotgun. This is not that grounded.
And we see, spoilers, we see the Joker at the end. And
this is not that grounded.
It really is. I feel like this is more grounded than the Nolan verse, because at least the Nolan verse.
It's also early. Like it's meant to be a Batman that doesn't have
I didn't
the
want
team
that.
and all that stuff. And you're also
I try to have low expectations too.
If you're talking about, if you want the unrealistic expectation of it all, is my battery dying? I'm sorry, guys. I'm also looking at the camera right now. But if you're talking about the unrealistic expectation of it all, Batman being at his prime and all of this, well, we're still good for the time being. Batman being at his prime and all of that, Batman still has even more help within the comics and stuff than he does now. He's not at that point yet. Like, he doesn't have... All right, so for those that don't know, Batman has a mechanic. He has somebody that works on his vehicles.
Lucius?
No. He's like a little...
Lucius did work on his mechanic.
No. Lucius is the one that developed stuff for him and then helped him.
In the animated series, he works on his stuff.
I'm talking about, if anybody's familiar with Nightfall, this character has come up a few times. My mind's going blank on his name right now, but he's a hunchback of Notre Dame looking motherfucker. He has a literal mechanic that lives in the Batcave, right?
Yeah.
He's got an entire Batman Incorporated
I forgot about that guy.
family. My point is, you're expecting Batman to be this person that actually already has all this network and has the whole Batman persona and everything already built out. He hasn't done that yet.
That's what I wanted.
But he has. Why?
The
Why
hell
would you
was-
expect that in year 2?
No, I didn't.
Why would you? They said this was year 2. Why would you expect that now?
Well, okay, so year 2, once again, I was excited to see what the Batman was doing. I guess it just hit a lot of things for me. Like, I tried to have low expectations, but it just hit a lot of...
Why would you expect more
I had no
out of a
expectations.
That's not what you're saying.
I had no expectations. I had, like, okay,
You're
I want to
saying
see...
that you... Okay, you want...
From the
why
trailers,
would you
I saw
have...
Batman beat the shit out of people, and I
He
want to
did.
see more. And yeah, I want to see more of that. I wanted to see. I thought this movie was going to be like the Arkham Origins, Arkham games. Like I really felt that vibe from the trailers, which it was like I said, it's a great film.
That's a different type of development, though. Games versus movies is entirely different, bro.
I mean, they've made whole games with about movies. I mean,
Yeah, but again, they develop differently within those games and the movies.
right. But like I said,
Attack of the Killer Tomato, to go like really freaking old school. The
have
movie
no
is
idea what
entirely
that is.
different from the video game.
the tomatoes. Yes, I remember that.
That's old.
From the 80s.
Yeah.
But once again, I feel like the characters were great. I give it an 8 out of 10. 8.5. 8.5 out of 10.
I gave it a 9 out of 10. The only thing that was holding me up personally was some of my issues with the Riddler.
I thought that was great. Again, Riddler was good, but the fucking Bruce.
I think it was. I think it was over the top for the times that Batman should have died that he didn't die. He should have died. And then lastly, just being perfectly blunt and honest with this, I love the casting in this film, and I was perfectly cool with them having a diverse cast, and I didn't even think about it until they made one statement at the very end of the film.
Yeah.
And they said the quiet part out loud. I was 100% cool with the casting of this film and being diverse and changing some things up and stuff, and I didn't even think about it until the statement was made. And I don't know the exact quote at this point because I only saw the film one time, but basically it was white man bad, everybody else good, fuck the white man type shit. And I understand our political agenda right now. I understand everything that we're coming into on that.
In Quincy Ocha.
But I thought that they made that statement by doing the cast in such a well way up to that point that they didn't need to necessarily say that. And I know I'm going to get some backlash on that. I feel like I'm going to get some backlash on that. I feel like by making that statement,
because wasn't Catwoman like, you're so privileged or whatever the fuck?
Yeah, but again, I didn't take, that wasn't my issue. It wasn't until they were saying, I can't remember the exact line, but basically, yeah, white man bad stuff. But I'm fine with them saying that Batman's privileged because he's a rich person.
Bruce Wayne.
But they weren't just talking about rich people at that point. They were saying, and they were hitting it. It was just too on the nose for me. Like, you guys already made the statement by doing your casting choice and by playing the film out to that point. You didn't need to actually say it.
I didn't see color.
It was, yeah, no. It's just every single white person in this film was bad except for Batman and Bruce. Other than that, every single villain was white.
Yeah, yeah.
Every single villain was white. And every single person that was
Falcone's
good,
Italian.
It's still white. Every single person. Okay, I might get some backlash on that, but it's still white.
I hate
you have
that.
white skin tone.
I hate that. I hate that argument.
What?
I had a friend who she was African American, and because of my skin tone, I'm automatically white. I'm Mexican. I'm Latino, but just because my skin is white, that makes me white. I'm Hispanic. I don't like that argument, Russell. But they did say.
But that's also not what I was saying. So that's right. We were talking about the Italian thing. It's not.
Where's the Italian?
No. Well, okay. Basically, what I was originally saying is just that it's just when they made the statement of the 1% all white people bad, and they didn't necessarily say all white people, but did they not say?
They didn't even say 1%. That was the Nolan trilogy that said 1%.
They said white people though,
yeah,
right? I'm not tripping. Okay, yeah, just saying that they're bad. It's. I was fine with them showing, not telling. I feel like showing is better than telling, and just when they said it, made it just. Not the word of saying like on the nose. That's not the right terminology.
Yeah, it's on the nosy.
But
just
it
subtle.
was just it was cringe. It was just like you guys Like, you were doing such a good job of showing your point and proving your point without actually having to say it. Once you said it, it just kind of like ruined it, in my opinion.
But that Jim Gordon, yes, he was African American.
I thought that he killed it.
Yeah. Okay, before we go, like I said, I didn't hate this movie. One of the things I love was the Batman beating the shit out of people. I didn't get to it, but the camaraderie between Gordon and Batman solving shit together. Fan-fucking-tastic. Give me more. Give me a whole movie about that.
Not even just those two, but like how Batman was communicating with, not even communicating, both verbally and non-verbally with Catwoman. It was very playful and very not even playful, just like he was being dominant. He was being like a man and shit like that, and she was just like, "Hold on, like you're not giving me what I normally get."
The little eye thingy that. Great. Like I said, there were some parts of this movie that were spot on, yes. And some of the parts that were like I said, I felt that 3 hours.
I disagree with the feeling the 3 hours. We'll close out after this. I disagree with that 3 hours because I understand what you're saying.
Right.
That there were parts that you felt could have been cut out and the movie could have been condensed a little bit. But I think that everything that was done in this movie was for a narrative reason. And I don't think that it would have worked the same if those things were not in there. I liked it.
I liked it too, just not as much as him. Now,
0.5, I liked it more than him, apparently.
The only thing that has me coming back for the sequel is that goddamn Joker scene. That is the only...
I'm willing to bet that they don't bring the Joker up until at least the third movie, though.
And please, God, do not... If you do this right... Do not fucking have the Joker just be some shithead with fucking face paint on him. I saw the movie, and he has, like, scars, hopefully, whenever he fell into the vat of chemicals. His hair's all shitty. I felt like he had a little smile already, and he's just so graceful. Whenever he was talking to Riddler, he was just so... It's so tragic. Yeah, that was great. I just hope he's not some fucking random dude that can predict the future and who's very super smart. Joker is smart, but... Man, please give me some clown. Give me some fucking Crown Prince of Crime. Give me some Jerome. I need some Jerome in my life. Not Heath Ledger. I don't need... Yeah, we've already had that performance. Heath Ledger, he knocked it out the park. For a Joker, I don't... Okay, so before we do go, are you disappointed that they're not putting the Joker, the Joaquin Phoenix Joker, connected to this?
No, not at all. That's an entirely different...
Right.
It's a different age. It's in a different year.
I still feel like it's all in his head. It's all in his head.
No, I agree with that, and I think that's fantastic. But no, like the timeline doesn't even match up for it to be.
What do you mean the timeline? It all happened in his head.
Okay, I see what you're saying on that. But it's supposed to take place in the 90s or something,
70s.
Right? 70s? Mm-hmm. Really?
Late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah, so there's no way that could link up with this Batman from this year. That's just, no. That's a
scapegoat right there.
I don't need that.
But I don't want Joaquin Phoenix Joker because that Joker was a fucking pussy. I need Debbie with the... I need the smell like pussy.
Joaquin Phoenix's Joker was... My issue... All right, that's a whole other different discussion. I had issues with Joaquin
I want a bag of laughs.
I had issues with Joaquin Phoenix's Joker as well. But character development, I think that he's building up to what you want. But I still, even if they give you what you want, I still have issues with that Joker.
What?
Joker does not exist without Batman, period. And the way that Joaquin Phoenix's Joker is laid out, and this is a whole other discussion, he can exist without Batman, and I 100% disagree with that.
Well, yeah, no. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the Joker that we got at the end of the movie. He's from Eternals. He's the dude that fucking led those people into the woods. Yes, I hope we get a great Joker. I just, please don't fuck it up. Just, that's the only thing that'll make a break for this shit.
We gotta wrap it up though, because the camera's about to die again. We only charged it for a little bit to finish up this conversation. Before we go, we do have more giveaways coming out. We just want to let you guys know, keep an eye on Instagram, because we have a whole litany of comics that we're about to give out again. Keep an eye on the Instagram, and I will be posting these very shortly. There's going to be 4 comics coming out for DC Comics and 4 Marvel Comics that we're going to be doing a giveaway on our Instagram. All you got to do is follow our Instagram page at Comic Cave Podcast and like and comment on the post when this comes up, and you'll see all the requirements in order to win these. And we will have another giveaway coming up of some type of action figure of some sort very soon for our YouTube channel. We'll see what the next giveaway is going to be. Oh no, Batman fell.
Well, I'm going to end this like J. Jonah Jameson. My name is Chris, along with my hetero-like Mr.
Russ.
And that is what's up.